Hey everyone, I'm Davey. Welcome to Hackflix. We're in Dublin today at the GS Day conference, the first JavaScript conference in Dublin organized by Remo. We're going to shoot for Hackflix a section called Teach Me Anything in less than 10 minutes. We have amazing speakers, amazing guests, and they're going to teach us some amazing stuff. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Vinícius Abdala. I'm an engineering lead at Zalando. Welcome to Hackflix. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about scaling systems and teams.
So thanks Vinny for joining the Hackflix Teach Me Anything in less than 10 minutes. What are we talking about today?
So today we're going to be talking about scaling not only systems, but also your ways of working, your teams.
Okay. So how do you apply that on day to day? Because you work at a company that has hundreds of developers, and you're lead engineers at that company. So how does that apply in your day
Exactly. So by starting small, you have your product, right? It becomes popular, you're getting more money, and then you hire more, and that's where you get to that stage. But you started with one product. Yeah. Potentially, let's talk about a monolith, right? So you have like your front-end applications, your back-end infrastructure, and etc. So today we have like all this, those buzzwords going around for microservices and micro front-ends, right? So I'm going to be talking a little bit about this. Bear with me. So by leveraging this slicing of the architecture, let's call it an horizontal slice, right? So you have your teams now organized not only around one application, right, but lots of them, right? This is to bring you autonomy, right, and freedom, and it brings all other benefits, along with some problems that I'm going to be covering around, by the end of it. So essentially, with hundreds of engineers working on a topic, right? Let's say you have a website, and you have your header, and you have a side menu, and you have like a product detail page. You have the image, the buy button. You want to to run that system. Definitely. Go ahead. Using this example. Right, so if you look at this this page here, right, you have like a lovely header, then you have like an image of a product, and then you have like some product details here. You have another, piece here that contains like a button to buy, and so on and so forth. Right. With a single team, you would have to share like your repositories in there. You're gonna have like potentially product managers defining priorities and conflicting priorities in there. You have to experiment. You want to see, what if I put this button over there? Would I, get more traction, my conversions, and etc. With microservices and micro frontends, what would you really see is like, I'm going to try to do like a 3D kind of diagram. So we can have an idea, right? So let's say here we have like this big website there with a product DPO page. The microservice, you're gonna have like your front end here, right? Your front end, you're free to,
feel free to change the color if you want, if you need it.
Okay. Cheers.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. So with a header component there, for example, you have like your front end there. You potentially will have your back end for front end, because for some reason or obvious reasons you don't want to expose like some downstream APIs. And this backend for front end will have, let's say for simplicity, we'll have kind of an API that has its own
data
storage in there, right? So we're previously having a team running all of this. Now let's say that you have a team running only this piece. Let's consider this piece their real estate, right? So the real estate means that they have control of what they do. And the same applies for other fragments, right? So you have this piece here, same fragment, same structure. You have like your components. potentially one or more APIs on the back end, their data storage, and so on and so forth, right? With these teams here, so we have another team running this. Suppose that they want to run experiments, right?
Yep.
They wouldn't have to deploy the whole infrastructure again, but only this part over here, okay?
Yeah.
Now, why did I mention deployment? Deployment is a pain when you have like a, usually a big and bureaucratic organization.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you start by introducing processes and gates and all this sort of stuff, right? So you have like the day that you're going to review the changes, the day that you're going to proceed with the deployment, and the day that you're going to get an approval from your head of engineering and etc.
Let me give you another color here because I think this is going to be a bit,
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
So following these gates of approvals, like there are even some studies like mentioned in the book called Accelerate that compare teams that have these approval gates with the ones that doesn't, the ones that don't, they're free to do deployments in production constantly. They are more performant, right? So they can deliver more. They feel better about what they did.
Okay.
And we all feel better when we're able to push something to production like in the same day, right?
Yeah, indeed.
So by having this autonomy here, this team can now experiment, evolve, and deliver anything they want at any time by removing these gates. The thing comes with the first complications, right? So what if you want to make a change that needs a change here, and a change here, and a change here? Different fragments. Now we have 3 different teams. Now we have a management cost, like a coordination cost, right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So by having this system here, what we could leverage is basically inner sourcing, right? So even inside your company, you have your owners of each one of these, right? So
indeed.
to avoid that feeling of this is my turf, right? We can incentivize inner sourcing, right? By introducing these new ways of working.
Inner sources, open sources.
Exactly.
The same,
Talking about inside the
Inside
corporation
the company,
itself, like there's even a community called Inner Sourcing Common, right? That helps big corporations to to adopt inner sourcing into their own companies. So the same engineer can make a pull request here, a pull request here, and a pull request here, right? So there are a few things that you have to put in place.
Okay.
Yeah, let's say use the same framework. That would make it much easier.
So basically, you have a PR that will be applied here, and then people will be reviewing them and then accepting it as it's done in the open source world. Today.
Exactly.
Great.
And inside your own company.
So and then just a question for people watching this is at Zalando every day, is that process working already? And what do you see as a benefit, as the main benefit of having this?
So the main benefits that we have here first comes to an engineering, right? From an engineering standpoint, you have your engineers. They not only own the code base, but they actually run the services, right?
Okay,
so
perfect.
that's this DevOps culture embedded in it.
Okay.
And that's it's a requirement that comes with it if you're looking for full autonomy end to end,
Nice.
right? So this is the benefit. Just coming back to one of the complications is this may cause inconsistencies. So things to leverage this will be like some agreed design systems and patterns that we're going to be using, agreed on the framework, so you don't have like problems with different frameworks with different impacts on bundle size of the page and then page loading and everything.
Okay, perfect. So Vinny, that's those are the kind of problem not everyone faces unless you're part of this big organization. So I'm really happy to, like myself, I never work in a company that has more than 300 developers. So this is really informative, and it actually gives a way to people to see like micro front-end microservices can help with the engineering team. But I'm happy to have you on my podcast to discuss this even further. You
Definitely.
in?
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, man.